Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be of a recap of my first trimester of pregnancy. It's so cool to be able to do this video because I used to be obsessed with all things pregnancy, even though I was never pregnant, obviously. I'm probably going to ramble a lot in this video, so get yourself a cuppa or something if you find this sort of stuff interesting. So before I found out I was pregnant, a few people asked stuff like, oh, well, did you have any symptoms? What were you feeling? Did you know you were pregnant? I didn't really know I was pregnant, and to be honest, everything happened quite quickly after we got married. So, it was kind of a surprise, kind of not a surprise. It wasn't like we were trying, but we were not trying, if that makes sense. But if you did watch my finding out I was pregnant video, I did say on there that my initial symptoms or feelings were I was not sleeping very well. I was having really vivid dreams consecutively for about a week. So I thought, that's a bit strange. And I feel like I'm fairly in tune with my body, so if something's different, then I can kind of gauge it. The other thing was I was getting really frustrated. I'm a proper affectionate. I love cuddles. And if Connor would come into bed and cuddle me, I'd just be like, get off. And that seems to have kind of carried on throughout this pregnancy, but obviously that's more into the next videos then. Little things would just frustrate me. It was just a bit of a funny feeling, I guess. There was not much more to it. And I did test really early. I probably tested 4 or 5 days maybe before my period was due. But I was like, oh, why not? I'll film it and we'll see. And then yeah, I ended up being pregnant, so that was pretty cool. So then it came to me finding out I was pregnant and basically what was next. And considering I've watched so many pregnancy stuff, I actually didn't know what to do. And I was like, I'm guessing I need to call a midwife to say, oh hey, do you want to check I'm legitimately pregnant, or do they need to put me in the books or something? So I think it was 2 days after that. Must have been 1 to 2 weeks pregnant at this point, after ovulation or something. So I rang in and I was like, hey, I'm pregnant. And she was like, well, that's great, congratulations, how far along are you? And I was like, well, I think I'm only 2 weeks pregnant, I'm not sure. And then they ask you when the first date of your last period you had. And she was like, whoa, okay, you're calling really early. And I was like, yeah, I know, I didn't know actually, I thought it was kind of routine. And she was like, okay, well normally we don't six you until we don't see you until the 8-week mark. And I was like, my gosh, okay. I didn't say that on the phone, but I was like, oh, okay. And then she just basically said, take your multivitamins, which I had been doing anyway, before, because you can take pre-pregnancy vitamins to kind of help you get pregnant. They're just vitamin D, iron. Yeah, so I didn't know this. I literally thought you had to be checked that you were pregnant. I don't know. I thought in the movies and stuff, you kind of ring your doctor and then you go in with a urine sample and they're like, oh yeah, you're pregnant. Because all I had proof was pregnancy tests, and yeah, obviously they show the hormone that comes up when you're pregnant. And I took about 3 or 4 to make sure I was. But it was weird that I was relying on just something I'd done, and it wasn't a medical check, if that makes sense. So it was I didn't really feel like I was pregnant, but I was pregnant. And then I just had this little waiting game then until the 8-week mark, which was obviously another month's time. It was really, I don't know, I felt really strange. Again, something I didn't know is they track your pregnancy from the date of the last period you had. So it doesn't really make sense, because when you actually conceive, then you're actually 2 weeks pregnant already, but obviously you haven't actually conceived the baby. But that's just the way they work it. It's called gestational age or something. So yeah, from that point, the way they've worked it out, they see you at the 8-week mark. But in my head, I was like, well, that's 6 weeks. Yeah, so at this point, it's a little bit of a strange feeling. You're pregnant, but you're not really doing anything about it. We told close family and close friends really quickly, to be honest. A lot of people sometimes don't tell anyone basically throughout the entire first trimester, which can be quite hard. And I had actually started a new job So then finding out I was pregnant was proper scary, because I was like still on probation, and I was thinking, oh no, are they gonna like try and get rid of me? Obviously they're not allowed to, but like could they try and find a way to get rid of me? And am I gonna get maternity leave and all this stuff? Anyway, when I did end up going to the MLU, midwifery clinic, which is lucky only 5 minutes away, they basically like say congrats, they put you in the books, they measure you, they weigh you, take your blood pressure, take a urine sample, and they give you like your pregnancy booklet, which you basically take to every single appointment. Yeah, so they gave me that, which is basically my holy grail. I should not lose it. It's got everything in it that I need. And then they give you like a big thing. They've handed this out to me. So it's keeping you and your baby safer during pregnancy. So it's got like some info in there about different things. There's a bump and baby and beyond. This is the Welsh one because we're in Wales. I actually haven't really read much of it at all. Maybe I should. That was quite overwhelming though. So basically she was like, you know, it's got all your info in there of your choices and like blood tests you want to do. And she was like, have a read of the book that comes in it. She was like, would you want screening for this, this and this? And I was like, I don't know. So it's the antenatal screening test. That was quite overwhelming because I didn't realise how much of a choice that you actually had. You can say no to pretty much anything. I just thought there was a lot of things that were just routine, like they take your blood and then they do the checks and that's it. Which for some people, you know, that's amazing. Like the choice to say no is obviously great, but for me then it's making me make a decision, and I don't really like making decisions. So then I just talked to Connor about it and like what we wanted to do. Basically we have to prep for then is if you want to find out and do tests for like obviously your blood group. Like I was like, yeah, I need to know if I'm rhesus D, which is if I'm like a negative blood type, which I think I knew anyway. Then you can also check for like HIV, hepatitis B and syphilis, and then there's a sickle cell test, and there's also the test for Down syndrome. And like everything else I was pretty like yeah, I don't mind being tested for that, that's absolutely fine. I was a bit apprehensive of the Down syndrome one because I didn't know if I really wanted to know, but initially my instinct was to be like, yes, I want to know so that I'm like prepared if anything happens, so that I know what to do when baby comes and things like that. Whereas Connor's opinion was like, well, it's not going to change anything for me, I'd rather not know and not stress and panic about it. So yeah, that was kind of hard, but it's quite overwhelming really. But the midwives are like very quick to say, do you just want this? And my initial reaction is just to go, yeah. It's quite easy to just go along with it without like having done like proper research into it basically. So after that you have time to kind of, well, do nothing about it really. Just get on with being pregnant and wait until the next appointment. I had a phone call appointment halfway through waiting to have my first scan, and that was a lot of like questions about family members, like if there's anything that runs in the family, disorder, like blood disorders or something like that. So there's like a proper checklist that they go through, and that was just a phone call appointment. I think I did that one in the car actually. So yeah, the rest of it was then just me and Connor on our own really, kind of going through it. It's a weird time though, the first trimester, because you're pregnant but you don't really feel pregnant, as in you're not showing or anything, so it's like you have no proof of being pregnant, but yet you have the feelings that come with feeling like being pregnant. So like the thing that probably I noticed was like how tired I felt a lot, and obviously I wasn't telling work at this time, so this was kind of a secret. I didn't want to say anything until I had my scan, just in case. Symptoms I had then that kind of developed was tiredness. My boobs felt really, really swollen and tender, like they hurt to touch. I mean, they're still a bit tender now. At about, I want to say 6 or 7 weeks is when I started feeling nauseous and when I started having morning sickness. I was really lucky I didn't actually throw up at all, but from about 6 to 12 weeks, or 7 to 12 weeks, it was just feeling nauseous, and I'd wake up and I'd have to straight away eat something, otherwise I felt like I was going to throw up. Like within 10 minutes of waking up, it was like, I need food right now. And that nausea lasted like all day long. It never really went. It was quite tough. And I remember the first day I felt morning sickness. I was on a till shift at work, and I felt myself, you know, when like you go white, and I felt dizzy and I got really hot and felt sick, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be sick. And I had to get off the till. I couldn't be near like customers and stuff. And one woman like called me and she was like, are you all right? And I was like, oh, I just don't feel good. And I couldn't say why, and I was just sat in the bathroom on the floor like breathing through it, and thank God it only lasted like 5 minutes at that point. I don't know if I'd actually managed to get a snack down or something like that. And I thought to myself, oh, that's the beginning of morning sickness. And I knew it was coming because I knew I'd get sick. Like, to be honest, I thought I'd be worse than I was. I imagine every pregnancy is different anyway. So like if I got pregnant again, it could be completely different. It wasn't nice. And apart from nausea, I guess I felt a bit more gassy, I'd say. I logged something on week 9 saying that I was like cramping a little bit. I think cramping kind of continued a few days. Sometimes I'd be cramping, and I think that was from like uterus stretching. It could have been what do they call it, round ligament pain. Something else I actually really suffered with was headaches. I had a lot of headaches. I could wake up with a headache, I'd go to sleep with a headache. Felt like I was taking paracetamol, and I didn't really want to be. Yeah, I actually went, because I went to my midwife about my headaches because I got a bit worried about it. It's not a problem, and actually it's quite common, I think. Unless your blood pressure has gone high, then it could be something else. That wasn't fun. One positive thing though was that my nails were getting really strong, which was lovely. I don't know if it's a mixture of like taking the multivitamins every day or what, but I was like, wow. And I've been a bit of a nail biter my whole life, so to actually have strong nails was really nice, and it was kind of deterred me from biting my nails, which was lovely. My sense of smell was heightened fairly dramatically because I work in a dog room as well. When you dry a dog, obviously they give off certain smells and stuff, and sometimes I'd have to like take a moment and like hold my breath, especially as no one knew I was pregnant at work. So I was like like really trying to like control not feeling sick. That was quite tough. Very early on in pregnancy, I felt really itchy, and I thought that it could be to do with hay fever, but it was a bit late to be hay fever, so I was a bit concerned that I was having allergies or something, because you've got so many more hormones going through you and everything. Your body, also the immune system goes down as well when you're pregnant, and I think you're just more susceptible to feel things. I think that's why I got headaches as well. And yeah, I was just really itchy, and I thought, oh no, I need to like take something. It turned out completely fine in the end. I think it lasted like a couple of weeks. I didn't really have food cravings or anything like that. I still don't really. One thing I felt though was I kind of had a food aversion, and that was to chicken, and that's quite hard because most of our meals revolve around having chicken in it because it's just such a versatile meat. And it was just the thought of like a lump of chicken, just, it's actually making me feel sick now. So I tried to avoid it. If it was like cut up small and in a sauce, it wasn't as bad, but just like, you know, like roast chicken or just something chicken, I couldn't get around eating like whole bits of chicken, which yeah, that sucked. The things that have helped me really during pregnancy, like with the sickness, I would have to eat pretty much constantly, but like very small amounts. So at work I'd have to like take a bag of crisps or something and eat just a couple of crisps at a time. If I went to the loo, I'd just have a few, and then like maybe another half an hour or hour later I'd just have a few more. It just stopped me feeling sick. I don't know why food helps, but it does, and I read up on it. So, and the other thing that helped as well was I liked what do you call it, like, you know, like Robinson's juice. I really liked just like fruit juice. It helped me a little bit better, probably because of the sugar in it. It just went down easier than just water. It's a really weird feeling. It's just it's not like I'm vomiting all the time, and I'm so thankful that I wasn't, but you just feel icky like all the time. And it kind of gets, I guess it can make you feel a bit down. It's like, ugh, gosh, I just wake up every day and I feel like this. It's horrible. But luckily, like, it ends. And I was actually worried at one point. I was thinking, does it end? Am I going to always, like, even imagine that I feel sick, even if I don't feel sick? So I was a bit worried about that. But I knew it was a pregnancy thing. So I just had to, like, tell myself, like, that it normally ends around 12, 13 weeks. Like, I should be okay, I just need to push through it and we'll be fine. And, you know, there's people I've known who have been sick like every day constantly and can't keep food down, which is awful. So I am like pretty thankful that I haven't gone through that. I actually kept some like little biscuits by my bed so that if I woke up in the morning actually feeling sick when I initially woke up, I'd just pop it in my mouth before I even got out of bed, because even from lying down to getting up was when I'd actually feel sick. It's frustrating. There's no way to like, I think the first trimester is really quite hard, like in terms of the way you feel, and it's hard because no one else really knows, and you're keeping it secret and you want everything to be okay. It's a bit worrying because you don't know, like, am I actually pregnant, or is it like, yeah, is everything okay with the baby? It's a weird moment, but also so exciting because like I could not wait until the 12-week appointment. That was so exciting to see the baby for the first time. Oh, another thing that's helped as well is the Pregnancy+ app. I'll show you it. I knew about it anyway because I'm a weirdo and I love looking up pregnancy stuff. It's got baby's name on it. I can't show you that bit. It's this one here. Pregnancy+. It tells you like the size of the baby, so like if I go to 12 weeks or whatever, it says it's the size of a kiwi. It's quite cool, and how much it might weigh, and then you've actually even got like a 3D image of what the baby would be like looking like at the time. You can turn it around. It's so cool. It gives you info, like how much that would be like actual size. Oh, baby was so diddy before. That's like this big. So it says like 7.4 centimeters. This is at week 12. Supposedly is like what they'd measure. And then the info, like there's an info little button at the bottom. And it says like in this week what they're able to do. So that your baby has the ability to open and close its fists and make sucking movements. All the organs are developing into their final shapes, including the stomach, liver, pancreas and intestines. It's so cool. And you can also go on to like the specific day that you're pregnant. It gives you like areas where you can put in your appointments, like a diary. You can make your own notes. You can put in photos of your bump as you go. It has things that you can buy and everything. It's just a really helpful app. And it's kind of nice to feel like you're getting to know your baby when you can like visualize how big they are, and also keeps you on track of how far along you are as well. It was nice, and also to share it with Connor because he even downloaded the app himself so that he can like keep an eye on what the baby looks like and stuff. I feel like I've had a fairly positive first trimester, apart from the fact I was like absolutely terrified to tell my boss that I was pregnant. That leads us to the first scan. Oh my gosh, it was so exciting. I didn't really know like how long it would take to go in there, but the whole process took like an hour and a half, I think even 2 hours maybe, because it was a long wait. Because of COVID, Connor couldn't actually wait with me. He had to wait outside in the hall, and then he had to be called into the sonographer's room. So yeah, it was a lot of waiting. Luckily he could go and get coffee and whatnot, and I was just kind of sat there like waiting for this appointment. And that's also the day that they do bloods and everything as well. But yeah, we were really nervous But I was kind of caught up in the excitement of it, really. I think Connor was a lot more nervous than me. Like, he was like, oh, is there going to be a heartbeat? And straight away, when the lady was doing it, she was like, oh, congratulations, baby's there's a heartbeat. And then Connor was like, oh my gosh, like, thank goodness. And to see the baby for the first time is amazing, because you can see it all in one. And turns out we were actually 13 weeks pregnant. We were a week ahead than we thought. I still don't actually understand the math of it, because it doesn't make sense to when I was ovulating and then I conceived. Maybe I ovulated earlier than what I assumed I was. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense, but apparently it's quite common to go into a 12-week scan and actually be further along. You know, you have to like turn up with a full bladder so that the baby is kind of lifted up so that they can find the baby easier. So she was like, well done for having a full bladder, and I was like, thanks. And then turned out my bladder was too full, and every time she was pushing I was like, oh my gosh, I really need a wee right now, because obviously they have their little probe, don't they? And actually what she had to do, she had to get me to go for a wee but then stop mid-flow. And she told me, and she was like, is that all right? And I was like, yeah, I think so. I've never had to do that before, but okay. Weirdest thing to have to like stop weeing during mid-wee. Sorry if that's TMI, but oh well. Yeah, then I had to go back into the room and it was a bit better, but then my bladder was filling up again, so she had to make me go to the bathroom again, but still save some wee. It was very odd. The weirdest part of this scan was basically the baby kept arching their back, and they were trying to like measure the fat on the back of the neck, but the baby needed to be like more of that sort of position. So the woman said to me, she was like, right, what I'm gonna get you to do now is a bit weird, but we're just gonna see if we can try and move the baby. So I was like, okay. So basically what I had to do is put my hands on the bottom of the bed or whatever, lift my hips, and then just wiggle. So I'm like lying down on my on my back, and there's just like my bum in the air, and I'm just like wiggling. And she kept going like a snowball, shake like a snowball, shake, 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 shake. Connor's looking at me like, what are you doing? Just to get the baby to sort of move positions. I had to do that twice, so that was a bit of like an embarrassing moment. It was kind of funny. And then, yeah, the baby eventually got to the right position, but it was kind of nice that she had to fidget a bit, because then we could just see the baby for longer, which was lovely. That was about like a 5-minute scan, so then Connor had to go then outside and wait again. And then I had to wait to then talk to a midwife. I think I got weighed again. I did a urine sample again, so I had to wee again. Blood pressure, and then this was when they took my bloods. So I personally decided to just go and have all the tests done. That's just what we decided to do. Obviously everyone has their own opinion with it, so, you know, each to their own on that one. So those 2 weeks after that is kind of scary, like wondering, but I tried to not wrap my head around that too much, because what will be will be. Luckily we haven't had any like problems with that. I did get a call though, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, because they said to me, oh, if you do hear something within 2 weeks, that might be because something's wrong. And I freaked out because it was in the middle of work, and I said to my colleague, I was like, oh, I've just got to call the doctor back. And I was like, my heart was thumping, but all she said was that my blood group came back and that I was rhesus negative, rhesus D negative, I think it is. So my blood group is O negative, which I knew. So she says, yes, so just at the 28 week mark, you need to have a vaccine, which is basically preventative of any blood complications in the future. And I was like, oh, okay, great, that's fine. I got proper scared, and I was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm down with that. I kept saying to myself as well, like, do not wish away the pregnancy, because it's gonna go really fast, and try and embrace every single moment. Kind of hard to embrace the part when you're feeling sick all the time, but it does pass. So yeah, you just have to hold on to that. If you are currently pregnant in the early stages, then hopefully you're coping okay. It's nice that I had it, and now it's nice that I've gone through the first bit. But yeah, that's basically my first trimester for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know I can ramble on for absolutely days. I'm sure I'll have some baby updates for you soon. Do follow my Instagram, because I do post a bit more, and obviously I'm kind of further along in like a bit more regular updates, because I am in my second trimester right now. If you want to, I will pop the link down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully it wasn't like too boring. Yeah, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.